guys, I'm coming outside, plane right in directly in front in my line of sight. Mobile won't pick it up. Patroller walking on the street, straight in my line of sight. As soon as I look, see, that's someone. It's just on dark, so I might be able to pick up the patroller walking the dog on the lead, which is exactly how they would like as another human that is controlled, as stated, where they want to have the human beings on the lead like a dog, under control. They don't want a free living animal or a free living person in this world now. Notice how he's going into the place just right in front where my eyes go. Just follow my eyes, because it's on dark. This is a small dead-end street. I live in Henry Street, Leichhardt, number 3. And look, patrol plane overhead. I'm plane spotting the patrol car right in front that's pulled right in, as you can see with its bright lights. See, not hiding, right in front. And the train, and another one pulling in right in front behind it. Can you see? I'm even low. It's a small dead-end street, and it should be completely, see how it just pulled in and pulled out? See how this one here will just pull into a small dead-end street and pull out? This car is going to pull. See how it pulled in now it's pulling in on the other side of me, literally patrolling and surrounding me. And there's a patrol plane going through that light right in front as well. See how this car is just pulling in backwards and forwards? See how the plane is in my line of sight right over the patrol car? So I'm literally patrolled, even though it's a small, very small dead end, supposedly quiet street. Yes, the noise has stopped because it is just on dark. So basically they can't inundate you with their technical artificially intelligent community workforce around you. So it's quiet, but they can still, even on this small dead-end street. This is Henry Street, Leichhardt. I'm number 3, 34 to 36. See, I'm number 3, 34 to 36, Henry Street, Leichhardt, in the city of Sydney, in the country of Australia. And basically, like I say, there shouldn't be any cars hardly on this street, because there's not a lot of houses, and the few other places are unoccupied, and there's no reason at all. But at any rate, I'm just going to show that as soon as I come out, that I am connected to this artificially intelligent, what they call grid, which I don't mean, it just simply means that you're connected to their technology. And look, I'm going to pretend that I'm what someone said, oh, you're plane spotting. Over my head, I'm standing, see, patroller going into the place directly opposite. These people don't even live in these houses, because I've lived here for 30 years, so you get to know the faces of people that go in the houses, but they're going in anyway, and they're all just a patrol system. Now there's a plane in my line of sight going to go across that same light again. As soon as I look, I have the plane and a patroller coming past in my line of sight on the other side of the street, but the mobile will not pick up that patroller, but my eyes do. See the plane going through there, went through the light going through, that's my line of sight. So it's basically showing me that I'm patrolled and tracked by even the aeroplanes, because they're always coming at you. Like if I went down the road and I look away from the patrolling traffic, which is rather hard, and you look up at the sky, immediately a plane will come zooming at you, almost as though it's out of nowhere. I could film it, but I'm just going to only film what is outside of the place where I'm living. See that I live in there, that's number 334 to 36 Henry Street, Leichhardt, in the city of Sydney, in the country of Australia. And I don't know why I keep repeating that, but it's a very, very, very big country. Most of it is empty, but the cities are nothing but a total artificial intelligent internet computer system, control system for human beings. It's how this world is set up, because there is what we call spiritual aspects to this. In other words, it's about gods and monsters, as they say, like the movie Gods and Monsters. In other words, the monsters oppose the gods, or the artificial intelligence opposes the human beings. That's how I put it, because I assume I'm a human being, not an artificially intelligent, psychopathic, malignantly narcissistic, paranoid, controlling, psychopathic human being. No, I assume I'm not. But here's a patrol plane. Usually it's a patrol car over my head. See, they're just going to keep coming over my head and over the roof of this place here. And I'm just gonna, what they call, someone said there's such a thing as plane spotting, so I'm gonna be plane spotting. I think there's train spotting. There should be traffic spotting, because essentially wherever I go I'm surrounded by 50 times the normal amount of traffic that should be on the road, because they have built a total underground tunnel system under this city of Sydney to take the traffic from the roads. But wherever I go, there's always astronomical traffic and big lorries, buses, motorbikes making loud noise. All the traffic makes an astronomically loud noise around me, to where I can't think, and to where you feel trapped and completely surrounded. And no one would deny that it's wherever I go, because if I go down to the main road, I might say to an android, oh, gee, there's a lot of traffic here. Why is there so much traffic here? Isn't it supposed to be going with this new underground tunnel system that they're built under the city of Sydney? And they say, it does. It's quiet, and there's not much traffic anywhere else except this part where you're looking at now. And what I could say is, yes, but the other day I caught a bus, even though I didn't even have a ticket, because they wouldn't validate my ticket. That's another thing. I've got a card that's got money on it, but it's not valid because I can't activate it. They won't activate it. But I still got on the bus and went 2 suburbs away on the bus. And when I got off the bus, where people say there is no traffic because it all goes onto the under, I had the same traffic that I have up on the road here. So basically these thousands and thousands of vehicles, everything from regular civilian cars to huge lorries with bright flashing lights on them, and an inordinate amount of buses, and large motorbikes making excessive noise in an aggressive road rage manner as they go past, and even push bikes and electric bikes on the street going past you. That's not to count for the fact that you still have all these civilian patrollers around you. But basically the traffic follows me wherever I go. So that proves that there is a patrol system operating, because otherwise why would even the android say yes, there's no traffic further along Parramatta Road? But when I went along Parramatta Road, the other day, 2 suburbs away, that same traffic was exactly as thick. In fact, it was ridiculous because it was not peak hour even. Peak hour, of course, is also, as we're told, not totally real. It's just an excuse for the patrol system to show itself. But essentially, I have a traffic jam or a rush hour or a peak hour traffic system around me all the time when I go down the road. Wherever I go, plane over my head. Please come low so I can at least plane spot and show a decent plane. It's low for me, but doesn't get picked up very visually by the mobile, unfortunately, even though it's very low and loud for me. But that's actually a small plane anyway. Some of the planes are smaller than others, but they still are continual. And there's another plane about to come right into my line of sight. Can you see it moving? It's only a dot on the mobile, but it will come through that light if you just bear with me to show that that is patrolling my line of sight. Even low, it's not very obvious because it's actually not directly over my head like most of them. See how it's going through the light in my line of sight, showing me that I'm surrounded by always two aeroplanes patrolling around me, see? Do you see it go through the light? And the sound of it won't be picked up by the mobile, but my ears pick it up even low. It's not anywhere near as loud, of course, as when they go right over the roof. So every plane goes right over my roof. And this depends on whether they have the noisy, aggressive, mechanical sounds coming into the house by the set-up stage work programs that they continuously set up on this small dead-end street. In other words, the street only just finishes just down the bottom there. So there should be very little activity on it, and yet they've pulled the place down right next to me here. They're doing work right at the back of where I am here, right almost like right into the place almost. And then of course they will often make noise in the place here. So basically you're surrounded. Here comes a patroller because they can't stay away with the patrollers. This is a small dead-end street, so it's a dead end there, but here we have a patroller just looming up, and they'll probably try to make conversation. Here is a plane coming over my head, so I'm going to go in and I'm going to go in and avoid the patrollers, because I can see that they went down the side of the place, so they might have a reason to try to take your energy, engaging you through conversation. And I say that because they're always just trying to take your energy. And whenever you speak to them, particularly if they can put their negative, depressive, low vibrational, low frequency energy onto you by saying something that will depress you. Because basically every single person almost is engaged in this depression program against a human being, to keep the human being low so that they, the artificially intelligent beings and the artificial intelligent Android computer system, which is controlled by the powers that be, which operate all these technical beings and even use the psychopathic nature of these beings to basically control the human beings. So the psychopaths have the dominant positions, and they control everything, everywhere, and every industry and every occupation. In other words, just everything, everywhere you go. So basically you're suppressed, and they have the transhuman connection to your brain, so they're reading your thoughts, taking your ideas as their own, so they look human. Planes are getting lost in the murky sky, but they're right over my head. Another jet right in my line of sight, straight in front. Can you see it? In my line of sight. So basically that one goes over, and then when I look away from it, another one. The planes are the least of my what I would say what bothers me about this artificially intelligent city society of Sydney. That's the least of what I would complain about, because the planes are just a small aspect. But I'll tell you what, when you go down the street, if I was trying to talk to someone, the planes always come over so that you can't hear what someone else is saying in a split second. So they are actually quite intrusive, even low. In my view, they're nothing, because it's the combination of everything surrounding you. And this is due to the fact that you are controlled by what they call, unfortunately, you've been implanted with micro technology in your body, and we all know what that is. Also, you do have organisms in your body which you consume, which are actually anti-human or artificial, which also they can use to affect your body and bring down your state of well-being. We've heard of these things, but also you know that they exist because they actually tell you that there are toxins and that there's a lot of chemicals in the food and all these sorts of things. They're just everything. The truth is out there, as they say. It's just that we don't realise how strong this truth is. Here comes one right at me. Right at me. Only sorry that I don't know how to zoom in on the mobile to show how low these planes are. Sometimes they appear that they're only like so close to you that they almost are like going to come down and swoop on you, and like an army air fighter plane in a movie actually fire at you. But basically they're firing the sound and the energy at you, and it's a slow process, so they don't actually instantly take you out or down, as they say. No, it's very slow, it's insidious, and it's undetectable. It's the perfect crime against humanity, the micro technology, the artificial technology that's been implanted in the human being. See the other plane going through that tree there, where I'm looking at that big tree that's right outside where I'm staying here. I can hear it, but also it's still looming there as I look over there. See, wherever my eyes go, that plane actually almost follows me. But the patrol cars are shying away and playing possum on the street. You notice how I haven't had any patrol cars on the street, but of course it is dark now, so you will only have them coming to suppress you in a more limited manner. But the minute I decide that I have to go just down to the corner here, even before I get to the corner, I will have cars pulling in alongside of me. People coming out of the houses. Every single house and every single being, almost you could say 99% of the population of the suburb of Leichhardt, which is the military centre base for the Android army, or those that are working and operating and patrolling and tracking for the computer system, or for the technology that now controls the world. In other words, the internet spider's web. I say spider's web because it is a spider's web for the human mind, and only for the human being, because these beings actually need it and use it for their survival, because they are technology using technology. So it's natural for them, but not natural for a human being. But they pretend to be the human beings. Over my head, another big jet, that one. And they have their flight paths over my head wherever I go, or coming at me in my line of sight, like as though they're actually coming for you. That's the impression you get, because they loom and come right at you, and they're not on regular flight paths either. They're not going anywhere, or at least they're diverting their path to, to follow you or to surveil you. But basically it's to control you, because it's not like they're following you for no reason, because the impression you get is that they are trying to take you, that they are coming at you, that they are coming for you. That's the impression you get when you see these planes. There's another small one going through. As soon as I turned around with the mobile, you see the small plane going through there, through this tree. See how I am looking, and now I will look over here to try to avoid it, and it will just automatically come through that tree. I think it might show up, it probably won't, it'll only be a speck, but that's because it knows where I'm going to look, because it's seeing everything through my eyes, because I have the what they call the microchip nano microtechnology implanted in me. This was not a conscious choice on my part though. This was done through medical intervention. In other words, when you think you're doing something to, say, restore your eyesight because you've went blind, basically they're using something good to also do something nefarious, because they activate the microchip when they think you become too aware of something. In other words, when you become what they think is out of your control. Patrol plane over my head, and there is a patroller lurking behind that tree there, but the mobile will not pick that up, which is kind of, you feel actually like a lot of people are actually stalkers around in this suburb, because they lurk behind things and jump out in front of you wherever you go. So it's actually quite intimidating. See how we have a stalker there on the other side of the street? See the shadow? Can you see the shadow moving? And see how slow it is. See how slow it is. See how slow it's like stalking. It's a stalk, and stopped now. It's actually stopped. It's a stalking human being, where it's just going to stop in the middle of the night. See, it's night time now, as you can see, on the street, and that doesn't live there. So it's not like me standing outside of the place where I am. And it's just going to lurk and move very slowly down the street. But my mobile, unfortunately, will not pick that up. Even if I could zoom in, it wouldn't be able to be picked up, because it's, although I can see it through the street lights, the mobile will not pick it up. There's another plane in my line of sight just above the patroller. See it moving there? Here comes a patrol car. Where's it going to go? Watch the patrol car stop right in front of me. See it stop right in front of me? It's stopping right in front of me. See how it's blinking its lights at me as it patrols, and it's going to pull in right in front of me. See? Doesn't live here, but it's going to pull in right in front of me. That's a patrol car, a android, artificially intelligent, human mind controlling thing. See how it's pulling right up in front of me. Not shy about showing its patrolling presence. But anyway, I'm gonna, that's got me inside, see it actually intimidated me to where I'm now going to go inside and finish the video in here if I can. I better turn this light off, because the place is very, very messy, because I don't feel like it's, a place where I can actually live, and I don't feel like that I should even be here, that I belong here. I feel as though I'm like an outsider, and that I'm ostracised by the entire suburb, which I am. Because although they will smile to your face and say hello and pretend that they're regular civilians, they're all patrolling and stalking. They're like getting away with the perfect crime. They're like a husband murdering his wife, whilst pretending to all the neighbours and everyone in the community that they love their wife, while they're secretly poisoning her. That's exactly how they do it. plane is going over the roof as I speak, but I've already shown the planes patrolling over my head. This is a channel here 4 years ago. I don't know what's happened to this person. I assume they're a human being, one of the few on the internet spider's web. Most are android, androgyne beings pretending to be humans, and they basically bury alive the real humans. In other words, the real humans don't get seen or heard on the internet spider's web, or at least they only get seen by or heard by a handful of people, which doesn't matter, whereas the androids control the internet. They have the personal coaching programs, and they're your philosophers, they're your philanthropists, they're your psychologists, they're your truth tellers, in other words. But they ain't the truth, because they're android, androgyne beings that secretly work against the human beings. They're part of the control human system. They're part of the microchip transhuman campaign or reality that's just taking place with human beings. So my mind is my own mind, but it's being shared with all the android, androgyne beings, or artificial intelligence, and indeed the internet computer system. Of course, if I put this video out, which I will, that's basically sharing it with the androids and the artificially intelligent internet computer system anyway. But you don't realise that they're actually reading your mind as well, because they have the transhuman microchip in all humans. It's just that many are not aware of it, because until they activate the total patrol program around you, that's when you become aware of something. That's when they will, like this fella, where they will openly suppress you, to you, but not to where you can show it to anyone else. So basically, but that's like showing that that's a prison cell, that although it's a prison, the bars are what he would say invisible. So in other words, if you are patrolled by vehicles and by civilians all around you every day, and they're always making excessive negative sounds around you, so you're always aware of their presence. You're never not surrounded by negative energies or psychopathic human beings, or a psychopathic, malignant, narcissistic, patrolling, controlling, paranoid personality inside a human body. And what is that? That's the same as the artificially intelligent machine beings, which make up quite a lot of the reality now. But either way, you have three types, don't you? Because you have the inverted, converted, perverted kind of psychopathic, malignant, narcissistic, paranoid, controlling beings that need energy from human beings, and that their sole existence is based on controlling other human beings. Then you have the total machine beings, artificially intelligent machine beings, which usually would be part of, say, the army or the defence forces, or your different policing departments. But they're not really about just upholding safety laws for a human being. They're about restricting the real human beings. Not through those laws always, but sometimes yes. Because basically everything is created under the guise of safety and, a benefit to a human being, which is what I would have assumed. But when you see that they're also using those same vehicles, those same road systems, those same street lights, those same set-up conditions in an artificially intelligent computer system, which is kind of hidden, because you see the traffic lights change and you think that you're operating. Where I go, I see the lights change even though no one presses the button to cross the road. That's because they want the traffic to basically bank up around me and create a traffic jam so that I'm surrounded by massive amounts of traffic. And they don't turn their engines off either. When they pull up, they don't turn their engines off, so it's quiet. They all leave their engines running, so that I have this inundation always of negative sound around me. This is not natural or normal in a normal society or in a normal reality. But this only happens around me, so I can't prove a damn thing. So I may as well finish up the video and be quiet and talk to myself and say good night to no one. I've had it.